Every product is going to be, precisely built. There will be new innovation for new product that comes out. It's still going to be a craft. This isn't just a mass manufactured product. It's still being crafted and built by hand.
To do that, you need to have the hands-on work and the individual polishing and fitting to do that.
All of the products that are made and will be made will follow the heritage, the craftsmanship, the innovation and precision of Dan Wesson.
It makes each firearm, you can feel it when you pick it up, but it makes each firearm its own individual because no two will be exactly alike. Morning. So as I said, this is where we bring everything in and out. All the parts are received, inspected, counted, whatnot, put in our inventory area. All the parts are barcoded. They go in their specific bins and locations. We'll have a job of 25, 50 guns, depending on the particular job and the particular model. We'll have pick sheets for those guns. We'll pick all the individual parts that go with those guns, and then those parts will stay with those guns the entire time through the process. Having the barcoding and everything helps with inventory tremendously. So things will come in raw, we'll do some machine work to them. Once that work is done, say on the machine, frame and slide are paired, and they stay paired the entire process. Then they'll come back in here, get the small parts, and then go out on the floor. Right now he's machining DWXs. Normally on the 1911s we would do the same thing. We bring in the slides as blanks, so to speak, so the difficult machining parts are done. Then they'll go to laser engraving where the model will be put on. There'll be some tracking indicators put on there, but make sure that everything stays together. Especially since like outside finishing, we send everything outside. We want to make sure when it comes back, everything gets paired back together the way it should be. A lot of other companies in your mass-produced companies, they'll completely finish the firearm and build it and then test fire it. So rather than handling everything multiple times, we'll build everything, test fire it, make sure it's good, and then tear it all back down again and run it through the finishing process, which is polishing, blending, sending out to finishing, stuff like that. So as I'd said, every firearm is test fired. It's test fired with the 2 magazines that it comes with, full magazine. If there's any issues, the firearm goes back on the line. Any repairs need to be made are made, and then come back in here and do test firing, make sure everything's good. Once the laser engraving is done, they pick all the parts and they come up here for deburring and so on. So all the parts will come up through, they'll come up in bins. It'll have its own job, and all the serial numbers are assigned to that job. All the parts are picked and put at the appropriate stations where they need to go for that job. All the parts have the job number on them. Here they're deburring. With the DWXs, we don't have as much deburring to do, so they'll also do some light assembly work. The 1911s are much more extensive in what we have to have done as far as deburring. They also go through and they'll lap every single frame and slide. They'll clean the barrels. The barrels and stuff are all done in the next bin, or next row, I should say. Once they're done with their job, then it goes on to top end assembly, fitting the barrels, fitting the sights, fitting and tuning extractors, fitting firing pin stops, firing pin assembly, getting all the top end, make sure that works. Once that's done, then it'll go on to bottom end assembly. So bottom end assembly takes that frame, they'll fit all the parts and components that go within that frame. Grip safeties, thumb safeties, even the mag catches, all hammers, hammer struts, all that needs assembly of some sort. We don't have any automation here. Everything's done by hand. So it's just a small shop, just like we used to do it the old days.
So going back with the Wesson tradition and heritage and the legacy, obviously it goes back quite a bit. Starting back with DB1 with the co-founder of Smith & Wesson. Then with my grandfather, he carried on that tradition and that heritage. And he departed from Smith & Wesson. So he started his business in 1968 in a town called Munson, Massachusetts. And he was, again, just instilled with that quality above quantity and those pillars of just what built the company. So the family's always been in the business in one way or another. That still, that quality above quantity, that relentless need for that, no compromising above that, that's been carried on all the way down to us and my kids. It's incredible heritage, a lot of legacy, a lot of history. We embrace it, and I'm glad that Colt CZ Group, is doing this brand relaunch. The whole Dan Wesson brand with the packaging that they've come up with is incredible. Just the whole overall vision that they have rebuilding the brand and including the family, it's it's been an honor. You got heritage, you got the legacy, the craftsmanship, the quality standards that were set forth then.
So in here is all the polishers. Polishing room is what we call it. So they'll go in, they'll blend the frames and slides together, do your final blending on your grip safeties, mainspring housings, whatever needs to be done. So some of these have already been done, like he's been working on these DWXs, these are prep. Here's an example of what it would look like. All the parts for this particular gun is in this bag. So he's already done what he needs to do for the barrel, the slide, and the grip module and whatnot. Now he's cleaning it and getting it prepped to go out for finishing. They'll do all the radiusing by hand. Most of your larger companies will have all this automated with big, huge machines. Each component is nurtured and fit to the firearm. It's not just slapped into the firearm and on to the next step. So once everything's done in polishing, it'll come out here and it'll be separated to go out for vendors for finishing, put into their packaging however they need to go, depending on where they need to go. Right now she's working on reworks, sending stuff back out that came in, it wasn't good enough to meet our specs, so it's got to go back out to the vendor. So this would be a combination of what needs to be built, what's getting ready to be boxed, and parts waiting for things to come back. Parts going out for finishing and parts waiting for things to come back. So final assemblers, as you can imagine, we have between 5 and 7 final assemblers. They'll get the components, they'll get everything completed. So they'll get a gun and they'll do it all the way through. They'll go through and they'll double check all the safety features, make sure the trigger weights where they need to be, extractor tensions, make sure there's no scratches in the finishes or dings or anything like that. Any imperfections in the finish that might come back from the vendors or even our polishers, so we can get it taken care of and get it sent back. Once they're done, it goes back over to QC again. He'll look through them, do the same for the function checks, go through and make sure everything works, lamps glow. For the tritium sights, and make sure serial numbers are what they're supposed to be before he boxes them up and we package everything out. Once he's packaged up, it goes out back and they'll do their final packaging and inspections, make sure serial numbers are right and everything's what it's supposed to be before we ship it out to Kansas, where everything is distributed.
CZ on the US side, so in the facilities in Kansas City, they acquired Dan Wesson in 2005. And so since 2005, CZ has owned Dan Wesson, and we've worked side by side. Dan Wesson has and will always be its own lineage, its own legacy. The history and the product speak for itself. Dan Wesson has been operating since '68, but it's still, in my opinion, considered one of the best kept secrets in the industry, and we don't want it to be a secret.
We're working on in the short term, we're working on bringing out a few older models that we've had before that we'll be releasing again. We've always prided ourselves on the hand craftsmanship and the quality over quantity. Those are the big things. We've always tried to maintain that